Hey everyone, hope you're well and hope you're having a great start to the weekend. So it's the first Saturday of March, so I thought it'd be a good time to go over and look retrospectively over my portfolio for the last month. So without further delay, we're going to jump in and we're going to have a look at what's changed in my portfolio throughout the month of February and hopefully see if there's something that we might be able to learn from it. So let's jump into it. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me. My name's Ben. It looks like in the UK we've potentially got a roadmap out of this COVID pandemic, so hopefully we will be able to enjoy our lives, go out and see people and potentially grab a drink at a pub. But until then, let's jump into my portfolio and let's see what's happened. In case you haven't watched my last monthly update on my portfolio, which I've linked down in the description below, I just want to touch quickly on how I invest. And essentially what I aim to do is invest in dividend paying companies. The intention behind this is those companies will repay value back to me on a regular basis through dividends, which I can then use to invest into more appropriate companies that I find useful at that particular moment, rather than having to actually sell a company to regain value from it, which then depreciates my actual potential return because I've reduced my share in the company. If you are interested in how dividends could affect your portfolio when you're investing, I have got a video that's linked down in the description below, so feel free to go and check that out after this video. So looking over to my investments, I'm currently using an ISA on Trading 212, and I'm going to be first going over the purchases that I made. I am going to be going over the purchases I made in January rather than February, mainly because I feel these have more of an impact on my portfolio in the sense of dividends, and also because I cover my more recent trades on my stock news videos. So if you are interested in what I've bought over the last week or two, feel free to go and check those videos out as I keep it running updated every single week. But moving over to my portfolio purchases and the stocks that I actually bought. On the 4th, which was the first purchase I made of the month, we can see that I picked up Omega Healthcare Investors, where I purchased 0.4 of a share for a total of £10.51. Then I moved on to purchasing CVS Health, where I grabbed 0.2 of a share for £11.26, and this was on the 12th of January. And then on the 19th of January, I picked up some more Omega Healthcare Investors, this time just shy of a full share at 0.9 of a share, which set me back around 23.33. Now on the 27th, we do have a rare occurrence, which was me actually selling some stocks. On this occasion, I sold half of my position of Cineworld, which totaled around 20 shares. When I sold this, I made a small profit of around £2.66, and the main thing here is I did buy Cineworld as a recovery play, and I wanted to sell half once it started making a little bit of money, just to offset potential losses if it dropped back down, and then again sell the remainder half once it reached a higher price. And my target price for sale is around £1.50 a share if it reaches it. Currently, my remaining 20 shares of Cineworld are up around 70%, so in hindsight, potentially wasn't the best idea to sell them at that time. However, by doing so, it did allow me to go on and purchase a further 0.7 shares of Omega Healthcare Investors for around £18.27p on the same day. And then following that, I purchased on the 29th of January 0.8 of a share of Chevron for 49.76p and 1 share of ExxonMobil for £32.64p. So that's the end of the sales and the purchases that I made throughout January. In total, I did spend around £145.13p on an accumulative value of around 4 shares. If we look at the impact that this is probably going to have on my portfolio, we can see that this would increase my yearly return by around £10 in dividend payments, which brings my total annual dividend payments to around £100 a year, which is a nice goal to hit. So that brings us nicely to the dividends that I made throughout February. And if we look at my dividends and the returns that I've made, we can see that the first payment came in on the 3rd from Comcast. Comcast paid out 7p for the half a share that I currently hold. Then we had the 5th, where we had a busy day and we had a total of 4 companies paying out. This included British Tobacco, who paid out £1.05p for holding 2 shares in total. This was followed by CVS Health, who paid out 37p for holding 2 full shares. Then JP Morgan and Chase, they paid out 6 whole p for me holding 0.1 of a share. And then rounding off the week, we have Verizon, who paid out 4 pence for 0.1 of a share. Following them quickly as a competitor, we do have AT&T, who paid out 16p on the 8th of February, and I had half a share of their company. The following week, on the 16th, we had a monthly payer, Main Street Capital, who paid out 63p for me holding 5 shares of their company. And then on the 17th, another monthly payer in the form of Pembina Pipeline, who paid out 20p for the 2 shares that I hold. Finishing off that particular week, we did have a 6p payment from Apple because I hold half a share of Apple. There is a little bit more to the story on the Apple one because they had a bit of a glitch. If you're a trading 2-on-2 user, you probably know. However, if you aren't aware and you are interested in my thoughts on it, jump over to the portfolio update for that week and there's a bit more information in there in case you're interested. This brings us nicely over to the last week of dividend payments for the month of February, and it started with a flurry of payments on the 23rd, with the first one coming from AbbVie with 24p for the 0.3 of a share that I hold. This was then followed by Hormel Foods, who paid out 6p for the 0.4 of a share that I hold. Followed again by the dividend paying company Realty Income Corp, who paid 42p for me holding around 5 shares, I believe. And finishing off the day of the 23rd, we had Omega Healthcare Investors. They paid out a total of £1.21 for the 3 shares I hold. And as you would have seen, most of those I actually accrued throughout January. So it was nice to see that come in the February paydays. Last but not least is monthly payer Stag Industrials, who did chip in with 29p for the 4 shares that I hold. So overall, in February, I managed to get paid out a total of £4.86 in dividends. This is around £2 short of where I would have hoped it to be based on the linear trend line and my past dividend payments. However, if you have watched my last video, you'll know that I went through and did a forecast on what was going to happen this month, and we were aware that we were probably not going to hit that target. The good news, that target was beat this month by a whole 70p. Sadly, this is the first month since August of last year where we haven't seen an increase in dividend price and payments throughout the month, so slightly sad to see that happen. However, if we look at the effect this has had, it has dropped the trend line projection from £6.50 down to around £6, which is only 30p more than what we made last month, so in January's dividend payments, which isn't great. It's not the sort of growth that I wanted to see. But if we actually look over to the forecast from what I'm expecting to get in the form of dividends from my companies, we can see that I'm actually estimated around £10.48p. And since my forecast last month was relatively accurate, only being 70p off this month, I feel hopefully confident that we will hit that £10.48. And if we do, I'm going to be quite happy about that, because £10 a month has been one of my goals for my portfolio, and I feel if we do reach that next month that it is a large step in that direction, because I would like it consistently for at least 3 months. My theory being that if I can get £10 minimum consistently for 3 months, the companies hopefully won't cut their dividends, so I will consistently make at least £10 a month on my portfolio. So moving over to my portfolio and the general health and changes through the portfolio value over the last month, we can see that on the 1st of February, my portfolio value sat at around £2,075. And then on the 1st of March, it had risen to 2,264. In terms of actual return, which we kind of care about a little bit here, we can see that my return has gone up from £31.95p, which was around 1.56%, up to £74.98p, which is around 3.42% as of the 1st of March. So overall, portfolio growth is going in the right direction in the form of companies growing in value, as well as me adding additional money to the account. And that's it for the portfolio update. There hasn't been massive amounts of change. It is looking promising for the future, though a little bit sad to see some reverse growth on the portfolio dividend payments. So mixed bag overall, but I'm hoping that my recent purchases will just increase my dividend payments and create a snowball effect going forward. Now, I have also been asked to add some additional information around why I'm buying companies, and as evidenced by the fact that I haven't done it in this video, I'm not going to look to do them in my monthly updates. However, I am going to look to include that information as to why I'm buying companies and the bits of companies that I like in my weekly update videos. So make sure to like and subscribe to make sure that you get those notifications when those come out, so you can get that information. Also, I just wanted to highlight a fellow friend and YouTuber, Irish Wealth. He invests and has an investing channel, but he has a different strategy to me. He very much focuses on growth stocks and ETFs at the moment. So he's a good guy. It's a good channel to check out. If you're interested in both dividend stocks and growth stocks, he's a good place to go to get that information as well. He is nearly 150 subscribers. So if you wouldn't mind dropping him a subscribe, see if we can push him over that limit, that would be brilliant. Make sure to drop a comment and let him know that I sent you. I'm sure he would appreciate it. He's a great guy. Would love to have a chat with you. And more importantly, remember, invest, save, subscribe, and have a good one.